Hello my beautiful people, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video we will be recreating this look. As you can see, I already did one side of her hair first. I always do this just to make sure I have my layout correct before I move on to the next side and show you guys my process. So to begin the process, I will begin by shaping out the middle braid, if that makes sense. So what I'm doing now is just carving out section. It's not clean, I am making it clean, but I do this in a step-by-step process. So I'm just going to comb out the unneeded hair and then comb in the needed hair and then section out with my fine-tooth metal comb. This is my poison of comb. This is my holy grail of all combs. I don't know why this is. I just prefer the metal tip over the plastic, but I always make sure I section with the metal tip first. And then as soon as I section it out, I go in and apply product. Actually, let me clip this out the way first before I apply product down the middle part. And then I resection with the tooth. It's called a tooth. The tooth of the comb. That's what you see me doing right here. Guys, I apologize for my elbow. I'm using a new tripod, working out my angles the best I can. So bear with me. My videos and a few videos should be looking beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. So here, you know, her hair is very, very long. I know you only see the top half, but honestly, if I braid it all the way down, it goes all the way down her back. But it's very long, so I get a little straggly pieces here and there. But this is what it looks like after I section it out as neat as I can get it and just comb out the pieces of hair in the different directions to make sure it is smooth. Y'all ever just be doing voiceovers and just think, oh, my voice sounds so weird? Yeah, that's me right now. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is applying product to the section I am about to braid. Now, when I apply product, especially if the hair is a lot thicker, this one I really didn't need to do because her hair is wet already. So the product distribution is a lot easier with her, but I apply the product on the inside, the outside, and then I split it down the middle and apply product in the middle. Just make sure the hair is completely saturated. So now what you see me doing is, because the braid is on the outside, I had to comb all the hair to the outside and smooth it down to ensure that when I'm stitch braiding it gets a little smooth. I didn't show you guys the top because it was very hard for like again the ankles or whatever, so you wouldn't have seen my finger placement as well as you do now as I'm braiding it down. So yeah, you see me braiding it now, and I understand my hand might be a little bit in the way, but as I reach the bottom or the base of the braid, you'll be able to see what I'm doing a lot better. But what I'm basically doing is scooping in or combing in a section of hair in between my pointer finger and thumb and adding that to the hair that is already in my fingers, and then I'm taking that top hair and crossing that into the middle. I don't add any hair to the other side because I'm trying to make it as you can see for reference on the left braid, at one-sided. It's not down the middle. If it was a middle braid, then I would add hair to both sides, but because it's a side braid, I'm only adding hair to one side. So that's what you see me doing. I'm combing in a section of hair and then crossing the middle piece to the bottom, like so. Now, when it comes to braiding, you guys can use your preference method. Remember, this is whatever you feel comfortable in. Do it how you feel comfortable. Just because you see a lot of braiders on YouTube or Instagram braid a certain way doesn't mean you have to braid that way. I know a lot of people be like, oh, you have fingernails, why don't you braid with fingernails? I didn't learn how to braid with my fingernails. Sometimes I don't necessarily feel comfortable braiding with my fingernails. I do practice with them because it does save a lot of time, I find, in picking up the comb, putting it down. But I learned first with the comb, and I feel the most comfortable with the comb. The comb is my OG friend. So I do braid lots of times with the comb, especially when I'm trying to make sure my hairstyle is A1. Like if I got a celebrity client, you know what I'm saying? Or if, you know, people got special occasions, I definitely pick up the comb and make sure, you know, you getting that Instagram style that you are paying for. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So as you can see what I'm doing a lot better now that we have reached the back of her head. in essence, and you can see that I'm not adding any hair to the right side, but I'm only adding it into the left side. So, you know, just keep with that. And I am tightening up the hair just a little bit when I cross the pieces over, just to make sure that the hair is tight without being too tight, if that makes sense. I don't yank it, but I do tighten it up a little bit to make sure that hair is secure in place and the stitches looking real nice. Sometimes when the hair gets a little bit dry, like right now, you can apply more product. That's what I do. I always apply more product if I feel little pieces that don't have enough product, or it's a little dry for my liking. So don't be afraid to add a little more product. Now don't add too much product, because sometimes when you overload on these products, they can cause the hair to be over greasy or have like a white film, depending on the base and who makes it. But just make sure you know the hair, and as you braid more consistently, if you're a beginner, you'll be able to kind of gauge out like where you need to add more product, or if you don't need to add more product. So, you know, just keep practicing, guys. I want to see your beautiful work, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, all right, and right here, usually this is the only time I switch to my pinkies, but you probably noticed that in the other videos. But right when I get to the last 2 or 3 final stitches, or basically the nape of the neck, that's when I will switch to my pinkies, because then that's just easy at that point. And now right here, this is very crucial, guys, too. If you notice your client's hair have tangled up a little bit in the braiding process, or if reverted back to its original state, don't be afraid to comb it out real quick, you know what I'm saying? The smoother the braid, the better. You don't want no lumps or humps or bumps in the braid. You want it smooth. So, you know, comb it out as you go down. And then the lower the braid gets, or the longer the braid gets, the smoother and smoother it'll be. So yeah, and then I just take it and braid it all the way down. Oh, started on a new section. I wasn't even paying attention. My bad, y'all. Okay, so now for the front part of this, guys, bear with me too. I didn't realize my camera had stopped recording. Oh, I don't think it stopped recording. I think I just didn't like the video because I was out of focus, but it was too late because I already braided it down, so I couldn't do nothing about it. But here you see me starting off the braid very fine too. I know a lot of people ask, oh my god, how do you start it that small? Guys, you gotta make smaller sections to get smaller braids.
Get this beat untagged for free.
Okay, so here I am doing the same method that I did for the middle braid. So what I am doing is all the hair is technically combed to one side. I do start off with my fingers. Sometimes I might do this whole section with using my fingers, but a lot of times, like now, I'm just going to use my comb for the most part, just to ensure that it's very smooth. Plus, I knew I was filming for you guys, so I need you to see my perfect method. No, but I think I flip-flop a lot between my fingers and the comb. It's just whatever I feel more comfortable, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm doing now, like I said, is the same method as before, combing it all to one side and braiding all to one side.
Braidbeats.io.
Also, guys, make sure you're practicing proper ergonomics with this. I know a lot of the times I don't, and I know it's going to come back and kill me later. I try to make it a point to. However, I'm 5'1". Right now, y'all don't even see me, but I am standing on a step stool to braid her hair, and she's about as tall as me. But I need to be towering over people just to make sure my braid styles I mean, make sure I can see it for starters, but you know, just make sure my braid styles come out A1. But I also don't like to be in my client's bubble. I think that's part of it. So I just never really like to stand super close to them. So I use my step stool a lot. Plus, 90% of my clients are men. As you can probably see from my feed, I do a lot of men braids. That comes from working in a barbershop mostly. But, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the guys are taller than me, so I have to make sure I tower over them. And I know a lot of people say, oh, why don't you lean the chair back? Well, that's because, guys, I can't reach their neck if the chair is back. When you turn the hair, that's just uncomfortable with me. I don't like it. I don't do it. So, but guys, make sure you're practicing good ergonomics too, because I know for me personally, I stand on my feet for about 10, I mean, it depends on the day, 8 to 12 hours a day, depending on the day. And with that happening, you know, you just want to make sure you're standing properly so that you're not getting carpal tunnel, tendonitis, and like, what's the other shit? Back problems, feet problems, you know, all the stuff that comes with being a service worker. So, you know, make sure you're practicing good ergonomics. You want your client comfortable, but you need to be comfortable too, so you can continue to practice good comfortness to your client, if that makes sense. I also had a lot of sugar right before I'm doing this voiceover, so I am doing a lot of rambling today and talking about random nonsense and all that good shit that nobody really cares about, you know what I'm saying? So don't mind me, you know, just trying to explain the best I can without sounding too crazy, but also sounding crazy in the process, because a bitch is hyped up on some sugar.
Braidbeats.io.
Right now. As you can see, guys, here the braid is getting bigger and bigger and beautiful, you know what I'm saying? So
Get this beat.
I'm just going to continue
Untagged
this method
for free
all
at
the way till I get to the
Braidbeats.io.
front, and when I get to the last piece, you're going to flip it back around and braid it as if you just started the new braid and braid it all the way down. But we didn't get there yet, so just braid it all the way like so. I think for me personally, making smaller braids, I use my pinkies to braid, or my fingers, I'll say, instead of using my pinkies, because not everybody braids with their pinkies. I use my fingers to braid smaller braids, and then I feel a lot more comfortable using the comb when the stitch gets bigger or thicker, or just to ensure that the stitch, because what using the comb does is also smooth out the hairs. Sometimes with my fingers, I might not be able to smooth out the hair completely, if that makes sense, or the stitch completely to my liking. So, but the comb, going in with the comb just makes like an all-in-one job, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when or most of the time, actually, you probably see me do it here. What I go back and do is I re-smooth out the stitch. I guess I didn't do it here. Most of the time, what I do when I'm braiding people's hair, as soon as I get the stitch in between my thumb and my pointer finger, I then re-smooth it out to ensure that it is tight. But what the comb does, it ensures that I don't have to re-smooth it, because it smooths everything in one little swoop. Alright, I think this is where I stop recording once I get to the final. I braid it off once, twice, and then I flip over to the back of her head and start braiding the braid back normal. Now, doesn't really, oh, look at this, the beautiful style, it's all finished, it's cute.